Okay, let's go modify this. I got to redo my chair too. Sign into chat. What? What? That makes no sense. Enter your password. It wants me to chat. I don't know why. No. No. What is it? Oh, God. Let's go last. Hold on 1 second. Oh, man. Try another way. Use your pass key. Where the hell's the pass key on this? Let's see. Oh. Try another way. Oh, man. What is going on? I can't log in. I'm on live, but I can't log in. I'll see your chats in a second. I can't log in for some reason. Let's see. I can log in here. So I'm okay there. Passkey, okay. No. Oh. Okay, let's see. No. messages. There it is. Copy. Son of a bitch, why can't I copy this? Okay. Two-step verification. I gotta turn on off do not disturb. Tap yes on your phone or tablet. Yes. Okay. Boy, that was it. My Google security is so good. Wow. So, long story short, OBS, which I use to broadcast on, said I couldn't chat as myself unless I signed in. It signed me out. And so it said I had to sign in. And I couldn't sign in. We're going to copy. And we're going to paste. Yeah, I'm early. And now for some reason, OBS is being weird. Ugh. And now, yeah. No. What the hell? Oh. Can I do this? No. Pin message. There we go. Message pinned. Go back to live. Son of a bitch. Oh, God, it takes so long. Now I got to F with my chair. There we go. No. No. I mean, there's a lot. Eli Lilly's up 13%. That was clear as day. Fortinet is one. Let's see, that's at 69, 68. I sold this one at 70 yesterday. So let's close this down. We're going to do some scans. By the way, good morning. Good morning, Scott. Good. Morning, Chris. I mean, that was just a shit show of a start-in. Yes, it's me. Done. Okay. We finally got it. So the problem is, just to explain the problem, I changed all my Google passwords to passkeys. And unfortunately, this iMac doesn't have a passkey. And so I couldn't log in to OBS without using a passkey on my iMac. And so I just got to get a new Maya. What's wrong? What's wrong? You didn't say Larry. Oh. I thought you called my name. Larry. Girlfriend saying, Gary, you didn't yell Larry. I thought she was calling my name. We had a bit of an illness over the past week, so I'm a little jumpy. But yeah, the passkey thing. Amazon's up 1%, Meta's up 1%, Microsoft's up 1%, Oxy's up almost 2%, Palantir's up another 3%. Tesla's up 1%, Taiwan Semi's up 3%. We got some bad news on some stuff, but good news on other stuff. So let's do some scans. I put the itinerary kind of in the new description that I just typed out too. So it's been a big morning. We got some scans. Netflix, Palantir, SPG, which killed it on earnings. Simon Property Group, somebody's not telling them that the consumer is weak. The core portfolio is just doing incredibly well. I mean, let's see. And I got to do a photo shoot again because these pictures are getting old. Savvy Trader. I'm signed in. I made, just so everyone's aware, if you didn't get an alert or an email yesterday, I made a ton of changes in the trading portfolio. So if you're subscribed to the trading portfolio, then you can go down just through here. And I'm now sitting 20% cash. I mean, that was essentially, I was balancing things out. I'm sitting at 20% cash. I included charts so you could see the charts. I included everything that I wanted to include. But yeah, the trading portfolio was... There's no way I have... Did I buy that much MicroStrategy in here? No. Oh, is that's the 10-for-1 split. That's what it is. Okay. It hasn't been adjusted. Is today the MicroStrategy split? That must be it. Okay, but I did adjust it. Let's do the core portfolio. Core portfolio, and we're going to compare year to date. We're still killing it. I mean, it hasn't jumped. NASDAQ is up 7%. We can look at the SPY against it. SPY is a little bit flatter, up 9%. We can look at IWM, which is just a nightmare because I bought at the top there. Yeah, I did. And I own 100 shares of it. I don't know why it hasn't adjusted here. So it's telling me that in the trading portfolio, I own a shit ton of MicroStrategy, but that's not right. I do own it. I'm down on it. Okay, let's just do this. Netflix and shop. We're going to do the scans. Because my ADD is getting out of control. Bitcoin and ETFs. Nothing in Bitcoin. Covered call ETFs. I was told that, sometimes it's a little confusing as to what I do. So I put the itinerary down below. And the itinerary is I do scans for bullish stocks. Then I kind of sit around and maybe shoot the shit with some folks. Then and the scans are right here. And so you can probably see the top ones like Sunoco. This one, bullish right after earnings. Got a nice little, MACD's low, energy. COP, ConocoPhillips, has a, it's kind of not a great call, but this one might be a good, it's traded sideways on the weekly. UCO, which is a triple levered ETF. There's a decaying asset. Maybe want to look at that one. Venom or Viper, VNOM. This one has been a killer with a good dividend, which has really recovered here. When you look at it, this one came about during the pandemic. My buddy bought it down here at like, $8 or something. It was, And he was like, you got to get into this. This is like MPLX. And we were talking about, MPLX. And he's like, it's like MPLX. $8 to $44 now. BTU. This is Peabody Energy. So I think they're coal or something. I forget. But yeah, energy stocks, I've got that watch list on here. So this is what I do in the morning. So if you're new, this is what I do. I do scans, and you can get the scanner and the 4-hour algorithm and everything that I use at Trendspider. So I pin the link tree in the chat window if you want to sign up. It's about $50 a month for Trendspider. If you sign up you get 6 months for free if you sign up for a year. So, leveraged ETFs, QCOM, AMDS, short on AMD, even though that one's going up. This is Bloomberg Commodity Index, QCOM, levered ETFs, low cost. And I constantly add to those lists. So if you're subscribed to Trendspider through my system, my kind of group, then you get updates to those things. Watch list got a nice GLBE. We talked about that one. I'm going to look at that one. Sunoco, RCL, Royal Caribbean, PSIX, Trading Desk. Gets a little move right before earnings today. Interesting. Entry on the 4-hour for earnings. That could be interesting. Shopify gets another entry, and it's like a little a feather on your ass. Tickles you. You got to scratch it. You don't want to put your hand down your pants and scratch it, but you got to scratch it. That's what Shopify is. Why is XLK up 1.35%? What's in XLK that's going up that much? Because XLK is run by NVIDIA. Oh, NVIDIA's up 2%. You know what? I just got to buy NVIDIA under 100. Okay, so that's the watch list. Shopify, we're going to do the Dow. I've got my own personal watch list, but I try not to scan. Most of my personal watch list that I value, that I scan, is in that Daily Stock Pick watch list. So, AstraZeneca, IDXX, and then the S&P. Okay. There we go. COP. Okay. We got that under energy. But it's still scanning. Wow. Oh, I guess oh, no. Whoops. I don't want to watch my whole self back. SPG and Netflix. There we go. Okay. Now we go back to the 4 hour. And then I open up some links and I shoot the shit with people. Eli Lilly was just, I mean, come on. Too easy a layup. Cleveland Cliffs is getting a little bounce back there off this 370 level, which kind of, puts in a little bit of a support. So, boy, that dude on CNBC looks old as fuck. Jesus. Man, somebody trim up that hair. You got flyaways all over, Grandpa. Sorry. I'm not far away from that, so. But at least I trim up. I trim up a little bit. Okay, we're going to go over and we got Alpha Picks up. Alpha Picks year-to-date, I did their year-to-date calculation. That's killing it. $25 off. There's the Trendspider deal. We got the newsletter, which is free. We got Cleveland Cliffs. Let's see if there's anything on FinViz that we care about. Jobs data came out. Yeah, let's see. Oh, that's why stuff moved up. Jobs data just came out. I wasn't watching shit, but it's Thursday. Of course, jobs data comes out on Thursday. Let's see. Robinhood earnings. I don't see jobs data. Let's see. News. Trending news. Yep, there we go. Put this up there. Wow, there was a lot. Wow. That's a big turnaround. There we go. Okay. We're going to open that one up. Let's see. Is there anything? There we go. It's right there now. Earnings summary. Medical Properties Trust. Did this one go up? No, it's down sharply. Mrs. Q2 earnings per share. That's why. Eli Lilly's up 15%, isn't it? Let's see. Eli Lilly is up 12%, 865. I think you got at least 890 in it today. So that would be my guess. You got a nice little gap up here, 924. But I think you probably have Eli Lilly just killed it. I mean, look at where the MACD is. You go to the weekly. It hasn't fully reset. So I don't know that there's more downside. But closing yesterday at 772, that's huge. I mean, getting it under 800 yesterday. So The valuation doesn't make sense, but they, what was, I put it in my notes. Hold on. Let's see. GLP-1 revenue with Zepbound and Mounjaro. They just reported this year $3 billion in the fiscal year versus $980 million in the previous fiscal year. That's how are you going to beat that? Again, what? There's no company in the world that's growing a product like that, and it continues to get approved for other measures. So. No, I don't want this. Unsubscribe. I'm now live. Okay. I've got everything. I think I've got everything. I'm going to open up some links. Let me just take a look at QQQ. I get it. It's funny because I'm on Spaces. I'm on Spaces again, I think, at 3 o'clock today. But morning, Aaron. I hear these guys who say, I get up at 5 in the morning and I do all the work for my group. And these guys, I mean, obviously they've got people that are paying them for, good work and stuff like that. But man, I don't get up at 5 in the morning for this. I mean, I do about 6 hours a day of work between an hour and a half a day on here. I do about another hour and a half of posting the newsletter, writing the newsletter, posting the podcast and stuff like that. So that's about 3 hours. And I do about 3 hours a day of charting and looking at news. I mean, that's the entire day. I try not to trade a bunch. I try to make, the weekends are where I'm putting together my plan. Like yesterday, this past weekend, I said, I need to reallocate and rebalance. I rebalanced. I sold my dad's Fortinet at $70. Was that right? It's at $70.10. It just popped on, the news of the jobs market. But here, this was clear. I should have sold to 71, but it was 250 shares. I still own 250 shares for his account. So I'm still benefiting from it. I just took, we made about $50,000 off that damn thing because we bought way back here. So this range bugged me, and I begged him to let me sell here. I begged him to let me sell here. He didn't. So yesterday's earnings, time to sell half of it, and he agreed. So we will buy more Fortinet. We will buy more. I bought more CrowdStrike yesterday, so I'm not, CrowdStrike. God, let's see. I bought at 230 something. Yeah, it's at 234. I think I bought at 234, 235, somewhere around there. Has confirmation. Yes, it's a red candle. You got gaps all the way up. It just had the death cross, but the death cross was the reason for the death cross was a catalyst. And it still looks decent, just expensive. We don't know what's going to go on with, Fortinet killed it, and I think the CEO of Fortinet called him out. So, what's VGLT? I don't think anybody's buying VGLT, Vanguard long term. I mean, it's got a 3.76 yield. Am I buying something that's down 30% over 5 years? It's doing well. 1 month, you're up 3%. 5 days, you're still down 0.71. This doesn't, Christian, it doesn't fit my profile. So, am I buying it? No. But, ASPN. ESPN or ASPN? Wow, that's a nice pop. 21%. It was down 6% yesterday. Wall Street says it's a strong buy, but there's probably one analyst. 10. 10. Quan says it's a hold. The valuation, let's see. They ain't making money. So this doesn't fit my profile, Josh. So I'd probably, if I were doing anything, I would trade it. Aerogel insulation products, primary for use. Probably Christian. Hood. I will stand by my assessment of Hood yesterday on Spaces. And what I said was, I don't like the CEO. I don't like what they did with GameStop. I don't like them teaming up with Citadel to basically screw smaller investors. Do I believe that there is some hype in this one? Yes. And I think you can trade it. I don't think, but when I look at the valuation of this thing, it makes no sense whatsoever. Look at the profitability. Their free levered cash flow, it's just not very good. Cash from operations, they're losing $270 million. So their momentum, A+, their revisions, great. 13 up, 14 up on revenue. It's growing. I just, I'd rather trade it than own it. And I think it's a great trade. I think absolutely a great trade. But, yeah, but Christian, I agree with you on that one. But Apple, I mean, Meta, Google, Amazon, where does that fit into my profile? VGLT. IWN does not fit my profile. Lost money on it. CrowdStrike does not really fit my profile. Probably a pretty good one, but doesn't fit my profile. So, Scott, I see, Christian, and that makes sense. A company like Eli Lilly, it doesn't fit my profile. I don't know the specifics around the stock, but I know they made $3 billion off of GLP-1 when they were only making just under $1 billion a year ago. So, Christian, I don't argue with you with that, but for me, I mean, if I want to be in bonds, I'll be in bonds. More favorite bond holding. This is Tuesday. Rate declining. They're saying it's a buy. So far, this dude has lost 2% in what? 2 days? On a bond fund? So that's a pretty big decline in 2 days for a freaking bond fund. 5 days you're down. Yeah, I mean, it's just, there's the 1 day. It just, Buffett sold, how much does he own? Is it still his number one position? I listen, that's what's great about the market. People have different philosophies on stuff. I don't mind sitting in the positions that I'm in. And does this fit my profile? No. It just doesn't. I mean, again, am I sitting in the, he owns more treasuries than the treasury does. I mean, he's in that one. But during the last, 6 to 8 months, let's say, he's doing really well on the long term. So just, if you want to buy VGLT and you're saying Buffett's the reason, just buy Berkshire. Because let's do select symbols. VGLT. I mean, again, am I going to go into something that, I want, if I'm going to buy bonds, I mean, you can see in the 1 year, the 6 month, it kind of crosses up here a little bit. VGLT year to date. I don't know. I mean, but would I rather own Berkshire? I'd rather own Berkshire. And here's the thing. I mean, look at Apple against Berkshire. Let's select symbols. BRK.B. And Christian, I don't mind being wrong. I mean, I've been wrong more than I'm right in a lot of senses, but there's a lot of people getting burned on the Japan trade right now too. It's good until it's not. And year to date, Apple's up 8%, Berkshire's up 19%. 1 year, Apple's up 17%, Berkshire's up 17%. 3 year, 43 versus 48. 5 year, 321 versus 115. So he's ridden it, but Apple's the king of the long term. So for me, I'm kind of sticking with it. Hasn't been great over the past, year to date. It's up 8.98 versus 9.01 for the S&P. Berkshire's up a lot more. I think Buffett's a brilliant, brilliant man. And I think he's got his career is unmatched in the market. But I follow him on some stuff, but not the Apple stuff. Honest to God, I think he's buying it lower. I think he sold it, and then when it dipped under 200, I bet he bought a little bit more. So I wouldn't doubt it. But, you don't know what he's doing. He could be just trimming his position. He hasn't said why he did it. But he 100% could be just trimming his position to get it ready for the next guy to take over. He may be, getting ready to step down. So you don't know why he did it. I mean, it's still his number one position. We can go and look. BRK.B. Let's see. Did they have the holdings of BRK.B? No. Berkshire Holdings. Portfolio tracker. Let's see. There you go. Apple, $83 billion. Bank of America, $35 billion. He sold a bunch of Bank of America as well. So, yeah, I mean, we don't know why he bought it, or sold it. I think race is fine. I think race is not a bad one. I mean, listen, they ain't underselling. They're not going to be a Rivian, which promises to make 18,000 cars and then says, "Oh, we're only going to make 9,000." These guys are going to do fine. The valuation's the only problem, but they could charge whatever the fuck they want for their cars. That's the great thing about race. They can do whatever they want and people will still buy it. There's no kind of, oh my God, we just made, 5,000 cars and we can't find a buyer. We have to reduce the price. Nope. That's not the way race works. They will sell whatever car they make. So I don't think there's anything that's shocking about it. I think it's a fine one. Automobile manufacturers, I don't know that it's necessarily worth all of the valuation that it's got in it. I mean, you can look at the growth is it's got just a huge PE. I mean, I think people have gone into it. So, yeah, but Omar, I think you're fine. Okay, let me start recording because it's 9:04. I got in early, and then let me open up these things. We're going to go over, I'll explain this post that I just posted. That's such a great photo. Bumble just took a tumble. Energy transfer, which we've been talking about since it was in the 11s or 12s. This one just hiked the forecast, killed it. I mean, just killing it. Still a strong buy. It's up 3%. Dutch Brothers, I think this one's an overreaction, to be honest with you. It was just a slight miss, and it was down 20%. Yeah, it's still down 20%. Eli Lilly killed it. Just killed it. And let's see. Meta, I think you buy the dip. Devon Energy, one that I don't know. Is this still in the core portfolio or did I take it out? Let's see. Did I take it out? I think I took it out. I think I did take it out. Yeah. You know what? Let me look in here. Yeah, I took it out. Okay. But that one's, it's getting back there. Costco is going to start scanning for membership. Here are 33 stocks to buy on the pullback, according to Citigroup, and a lot of them are really good. NVIDIA, Supermicro indicates that NVIDIA's Blackwell is dropped. That could be why it's dropping, but NVIDIA, again, is back over 100. Hopefully you got it. And Christian, don't laugh at 5% on your savings. I mean, as interest rates come down, yes, that's going to come down. But they haven't come down yet. So, while you're losing 2% in that bond fund over the last week, Scott's still got that same cash, and he's going to make 5% at the end of the month. So I don't think it's something, bonds are, the 60-40 hasn't worked in my lifetime. And I agree with that, Christian. I agree with the blocking in the bond rates, but it's not like the Fed is going to lower that bond rate and the next day the interest rates will all of a sudden be cut. Nope. Not how it works. It's not how it works at all. Supermicro, we'll talk about this one. I'm still on the fence about it. And I thought this was a good time to bring this up. When to sell stocks, my collaboration with My Weekly Stock. Jobs report just came out. JP Morgan strategist. 75% of the carry trade is done. This was a great analysis of be careful what you wish for with those rate cuts. Okay. And then we're going to go to Alpha Picks. Okay. I have not been, if you've been pro money markets while the stock market has been flying, Christian, and that's what they were saying the whole time that rates were up at 4%, and you wind up losing it as it went to 5 and 6%. So, Christian, there is no such thing as a guaranteed return. There is no such thing as a guaranteed return other than money markets and interest. That's it. I mean, treasuries. That's it. Your bonds have guaranteed, your bonds aren't paying 30%. Your bonds just aren't paying 30%. But as your rates go down, yes, you could get 30%, but there's no guarantee in that. Come on. Different strokes for different folks, Christian. I don't work. All right, let's hang the banner behind that says my 100% returns means nothing when the market crashes. Yeah, where was Burry in January predicting a market crash? Where was Mike Wilson predicting the treasury crash, the market crash for the last 10 years? Come on, I'm not worried about it. 2022 was bad. It was hard. Not going to lie, but it's not the end of the world. Bet on America, Christian. Don't bet against it. Bet on America. America. Okay, America. You probably didn't hear it, but she whenever I scream that, she goes, "Fuck yeah." Okay, we're going into this. Okay. Good morning. It is Thursday, August 8th, 2 days from my birthday. So if you want to give me a birthday present, you guys know I take tips, I take gifts, cash, Venmo, PayPal, whatever you want. But, hey, whatever it is. Where are we in the markets? The Qs are up 1.16. We had a good unemployment report. Good news is good news, and it's back to being good news. I'm going to give you the year-to-date Alpha Picks portfolio up to date because I found out that we got a couple of ratings downgrades and one rating upgrade on the quant in the core portfolio. Why are the gains all getting wiped out in the afternoon? We'll kind of go over that. I said it yesterday. The market wants to go up, but negative catalysts keep coming in. We'll go over that. 31 trades when the market actually rebounds. Citigroup put that in. We'll go over Dell, MCI, SMCI, and NVIDIA. And we'll go over some earnings with Eli Lilly, which was, that was the call of the day. Whatever. We got Eli Lilly, Dutch Brothers. I think that one's an overreaction. Energy Transfer, which we've been talking about. Bumble just missed. And then Duolingo. We'll go over all that stuff. But let's talk about Alpha Picks, because what I wanted to show you with Alpha Picks was actually their returns. So we talk about this all the time with Alpha Picks, where you get $50 off, and I sign you up through my link tree. The link is down below, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. It's $449. You make 132%. That's their thing. But what I wanted to point out was just the year-to-date performance, because, hey, maybe it doesn't make sense to go back to, 2022. Year to date, and I looked at this, and if anybody's in Alpha Picks, and you can do it, you can go to Alpha Picks on Seeking Alpha. It's right here on your left and under investing groups. Just go to Alpha Picks, and then they have a performance tab, and you can go in and pick. Let's see. We'll just go in here and we'll pick. Let's see, performance right here. We'll go year to date because it'll be updated. It's 19% versus 9%. So, again, I'm going to point that in. It's up 19% versus 9%. Yesterday, it was 23%. So it was down a little bit yesterday. And that was because SMCI. SMCI is in that portfolio. It hurt everybody. In fact, we've got a couple of downgrades and upgrades. So yesterday from the core portfolio, and I've got my core portfolio here on the left, the core portfolio here in Seeking Alpha. There are a couple. Yesterday's big gainers was Shopify. We got Shopify, Exxon, Apple. They were the big gainers yesterday. Top losers, SMCI, Dell, NVIDIA. I do have Dell in this core portfolio. I don't have it in the core portfolio on Savvy Trader. It's a little bit of iffy. I just didn't want to put it in there. But we had one upgrade. Okay, one of the upgrades, Shopify. Shopify moved from hold to buy in the quant. Okay, it's growth, A+. Valuation is a C. That was an F. Valuation is a C. They've started to turn things around. Now, does this mean that you buy it? I don't think so. Here we can look at Shopify over here. Shopify here, it gapped up. It gapped up. I'm not comfortable with the gap down below saying absolutely buy it when you didn't close above the 200-day on the 4-hour. It's just me. I mean, am I selling it? No. It's up, 1% today. But I'm going to wait a few days, see what happens, because you're just bumping up against the 50-day. But in the quant, it did change. Another one that changed in the quant is XLY. So XLY moved from a sell, it was a sell, to a strong sell. Now, the part of this is because of the holdings. It's consumer discretionary. It's very, very weak. The consumer, we've talked about it, is very, very weak. Now, 36% of this, actually 46% of this, are 3 companies, Amazon, Tesla, and Home Depot. So 36% of this, 46%, are 3 companies. So they're saying, hey, this one, probably not one you want to buy. Another one that moved from hold to sell is QQQM. Doesn't mean that QQQ went down there, but QQQM, we can go and look at the QQQ. QQQM has it's the same holdings as QQQ. It's just got a lower expense fee. And I do own QQQM. Now, the quant is automated. It's the momentum that's killing it. That's it. It's the NASDAQ 100. It's the momentum that's killing it. And that's it. So you've got, it's 100 names, 104 names, Apple, Microsoft. That's it. But, QQQM, that what moved from a hold to a buy. Now, all the gains were wiped out yesterday on the Qs. And what happened? Well, midday, there was a 10-year bond auction. We had a bunch of 30 years today, which could do the same thing. The last 2 days, you had a super strong open, and we're heading for a super strong open. But it all gets wiped out in the middle of the day. Now, before you go saying, well, the Fed has to cut rates, the Fed, be careful what you wish for. The Fed is in a lose-lose situation. I absolutely agree with it. If the Fed cuts rates aggressively right now, markets tank further because they risk resurgence of inflation. I don't think inflation's totally gone from the U.S. economy. Cutting U.S. rates will only make the yen carry trade unwind worse, likely sending the NASDAQ into bear market territory. That's 20% down. If the Fed doesn't cut rates now, recession fears will continue to mount. No rate cuts means more worry about the rising unemployment, which is now at a 3-year high. We got great numbers this morning. It's great numbers this morning. The Fed must pick between market and inflation instability or a potential recession. And even if they pick the right former, we may still wind up in a recession. It's going to be a bumpy road. I completely agree with that. I completely agree with that assessment. On the Qs, you're under the 200-day. You haven't gotten above, you haven't closed above that 9-day, so you don't have confirmation. You have a MACD that's still in free fall. Yes, you're up 1.46, but we haven't been able to hold those gains through it. So I said it yesterday, the market wants to go up, but negative catalysts keep pulling it down. I can't stay up. The market can't stay up. The valuation is making investors nervous. Japan isn't done. Okay? Here, we can look at this. Where's the Japan? JP Morgan strategist says 75% of the global carry trade has been removed. And what do you have? You have 3 engulfing daily candles across the board with SPY, QQQ, and IWM. We are not done going down. I do think that we trade very sideways and bumpy. One thing that you want to keep a look at is the VIX. The VIX, we've been talking about the VIX for a while. The VIX is down 6%. It's at 25. Until that gets below 20, I think we start to see these volatile up and downs midday. And until that Japan trade carries over, then it's going to be a bumpy ride. That's just it. And again, this Japan trade, it's 75% trades have been removed. That's it. And the jobs report, we talked about it. The jobs report is softer than expected. There was an expectation of 241. It came 241,000 claims, came in at 233. So it's still good. It's still good. But I do think you're in for a bumpy ride. So let's start going over stuff. One of the things that I'd like you to read is when to sell stocks. I'll include this in the newsletter today, a link to it. We wrote this back on February when stocks were at all-time highs. Where do you want to sell? And it's about 10, 15 reasons you want to sell a stock. It's a very simple and real-time look at, hey, at this point, maybe you wanted to sell stocks. Maybe you wanted to sell these particular stocks, and here's the reason. There's MACD crossdowns. There is, bearish territory, XOM right there. The time to sell RSI. You can look at 52-week all-time highs. You can sell at time to sell news catalysts. I will go over Sedge. Button hooks. You can look at button hooks. And then my weekly stock, he puts in his stuff. So again, it's a good article to read. It's a good time to look at it. I think it's perfectly fine. Now, what did I do yesterday? I bought CrowdStrike. Now, we talked about it yesterday, how I think it was, I forget the brokerage that came out, but they said the downside's limited. The reason I bought CrowdStrike is it closed at 230. Here in pre-market, it's trading at 236. I think I bought it like 234 to 236. I don't know the exact price. Two small lots, not very big, but two small lots in order to dollar cost average that $300 buy. Now, I'm already in CrowdStrike, and I'm very low price. So I'm fine buying a little bit more, just trying to do it. Now, the danger is you just did have a death cross, that 50-day crossing under the 200. That's fine. In my mind, that is catalyst related. It's not valuation created. It's just a catalyst related. If you shut down half the world, your stock's going to go down. That's just the point. But if the bottom comes in and you're down 30% and then you start to retrace this, now we're going to find out on August 28th, did their contracts die? I don't know. But I'm okay chancing it. What I did was I took some gains in my dad's account from Fortinet because they popped yesterday. I sold here at 70. Here in the pre-market, we are up to, I think it's 71, 72, somewhere, $70.26. I sold at 70. Why did I sell at 70? Well, here it is. It's just a weekly candlestick. And I said, there's a true range here that goes all the way back to August of 2021. And do I think it's going to break through this? Well, if we break through this, we've got a lot to go. But I just don't think that it's going to break through this. I think I can buy it lower if he wants. I sold 50% of that position, and I put that into CrowdStrike. Well, I should say I bought portions of that in CrowdStrike. So I knew exactly what I was going to do. The weekend, I'd said, hey, Fortinet's reporting. CrowdStrike I want to get more into because I'm down on that $300 buy. I don't think it's going to get to that $300 again anytime soon. So I thought it was a good time to do that. So that's the move that I made yesterday. I unwinded a bunch of other consumer products that I owned, Ulta and other stuff. I made those moves because I want to rebalance during this time. I do think that we see a sideways trade until the Fed cuts in September, and we might even see a sideways trade until October. But until then, I'm fine rebalancing, getting cash, making sure that I have stuff to actually deploy. And I think NVIDIA is screaming buy. I mean, we'll go into NVIDIA right now. Let's see. Well, we're going to go into SMCI first, okay? SMCI, Supermicro, I'm buying the dip. I read this article by Bashar Issa. I agree with him. But I don't want to buy the dip right now. I want to buy the dip into strength, not weakness. So when you look at SMCI, it's still weak. It's down, 0.5% in a market that's up. It's still weak. Those margins are gonna get killed. So I'm taking profits on my long-term brokerage account where I'm up over 100% in this stock. That's good. But I'll start adding to it in my retirement account where I already have huge losses. I have 20, 30% losses on this. Am I okay holding it? Yeah, I still think it's a good long-term bet, and I'll start adding to it. I just don't think that this company, you throw this company out. I think those margins indicate that they're in a pricing war with Dell. And I think that's the next buy. Right here, Supermicro's strong server demand makes Citi expect positive comments from Dell. And Dell is getting tanked at 87. So I believe the Citibank, you can read this article, why they say that Dell is a buy based on SMCI earnings. And I believe that. And then you've got NVIDIA. NVIDIA, Rosenblatt reiterates $200 price target on NVIDIA. Usually, and I agree with this, I don't put much weight into the analyst upgrades, but this specific analyst is the number 2 ranked analyst on Wall Street. I'd say that means something. He just reiterated a $200 price target on NVIDIA, and it's at 101. If you can get this below 100, I'm not saying it can't go down to 60, but I am saying that if you've got 200 in this stock, they're going to focus on the Blackwell delay. But if they destroy earnings on August 28th and they come up to 150, I'm okay buying at 100, even if it goes down to 60. This stock has traditionally been a super, super mover. And it's just one of those stocks. Weekly, we're not done resetting. It's not done resetting. I'm okay just buying under 100. Am I going to go in, say I want to put $10,000 into this. I'm not putting $10,000 into it right now. I'm buying $1,000 of it. I'm going to wait for the algorithm to tell me to get in. And then maybe if I've got $5,000 left of the position that I want to buy, I'll put $5,000 in. So I just don't believe that this one, you throw this one out. I think it's fine. And again, time frame matters and position size matters. Let's see. We went over. Supermicro indicates that the NVIDIA's Blackwell may get delayed. That's fine. I mean, the stuff's gonna come. Citigroup spotlights 33 stocks on their watch list, post pullback shopping list. 33 names. I like a lot of these. AppLovin, they just reported yesterday. They're down. Let's see. They went down. They went down about 2%. Looks like pre-market. I don't exactly know what it is. But Analog Devices, Airbnb. I wouldn't do Airbnb. Personally, I stay in hotels, not Airbnb. I like Airbnb, but I use them sparingly. Amazon, I think it's just a buy, a screaming buy at 160s. AMD, I think you're fine in AMD. I own AMD. Coinbase, I think you're playing Bitcoin there. DocuSign, I got rid of. Dell, I think is a great one. Devon, we'll go over in a little bit. I think that one's great. Let's see. Home Depot, I think you're betting on the consumer there. I own that through XLY. Lam Research, I think that one's going to do fine. MongoDB, Marvel, Snowflake, Teradyne, Target, Zscaler. I think these are 33 good names that you can look at. Take your pick, whatever you want. Costco. Costco is going to scan membership cards at store entrances to determine non-members. I'm a non-member. I may get caught at Costco at some point. Maybe get forced to buy a thing. It's up 1%. This one, surprisingly, through this downturn, has held up. And you can see, algorithm hasn't won you in the past 3 times. Well, it's gotten you in at 831. You're at 819 right now. The MACD is down there. Have you completely reset? This hype around the membership raise increase was enormous. So you still haven't reset on the weekly. Am I buying here? I don't know. I mean, again, it's held up so strong. It's 51 times earnings. It's just a little bit expensive. But I don't know. I mean, again, if they're going to do what Netflix did with their passwords, where they went from 300 to 600, might not be a bad deal. Where they actually increase the amount of memberships that they get. Maybe they increase their memberships while raising the price. That would be enormous, and that would push the stock up. So, Devon Energy, which I took out of the core portfolio, they just raised and they put a special dividend of 22 cents in there. So 44 cents, 22 cents per share, and a variable dividend of 22 cents per share. So they just upped it. Devon is one of those that, hey, under $50, you can buy it under 50 and it should pop to 50. This one has been a sideways trade that's been on the downside. But is it going to pop back up? They just had their earnings. So you're going to have to wait for an energy rebound for this one to come back up. But you can see it's made its way. I mean, this one goes all the way back to March 2023. So just over a year and a half ago, you've had one chance to sell it over 50. You had two chances to sell it over 50. Is this going to be the third time to sell it over 50? I've played in those spaces. I've gotten rid of it. I don't own it in my current portfolio. I thought it was interesting that they put out a dividend. Now, the algorithm doesn't have you in, I don't think. No, it got you out before this big drop. At 47, it got you in, but it got you right out. So I think it's interesting. MACD super low. Earnings just came out. They were decent. Nothing great. It's up like 1-2% somewhere. Yeah, 1% in the pre-market. I thought it was okay. Meta. Do you want to buy the dip on Meta? Masterstroke strategy to win the AI or along NVIDIA? I think Meta is a screaming buy under 500. They print money. They will benefit from the election year. All those billions of dollars that Trump and Harris are raising, they're going to go to Meta. I mean, make no mistake, it's going to go to Meta. So buying it under 500, I think is perfectly fine. You get back, you might get 10% back when it pops to 550. Now, they have already had their earnings, and you can see it's bullish on the earnings. It had that huge pop, and then it pulled back. And we saw that big Monday drop. So I think it's interesting. I just think, again, it's interesting. Eli Lilly, this was, the best thing that this was clear money. I mean, Eli Lilly, it went crazy. And just bear with me. All you douchebags commenting that I don't know the difference between Mounjaro, and Ozempic and Wegovy. It's GLP-1. Okay? I'm not a biopharmacist. I'm not a doctor. I will never take these drugs. I don't have any plans to take these drugs. But the drugs are getting approved for everything. You get a paper cut, Mounjaro. You get you stub your toe, Ozempic. You get anything. It's GLP-1. And Eli Lilly has the jump on this. They went from making $980 million in the previous fiscal year to $3 billion just on this drug. And their pipeline's getting stronger. It's up at 875. Okay? Do we have a buy in the algorithm? No. You missed this bump if you just didn't buy it under 900. Let's see. Where the algorithm got you in. Yeah, it did. It got you in at 803. Aren't you happy? Because you're up about 10% now. So the algorithm got you in there. The algorithm makes you 85%. You make 135% if you just buy. Again, if you're buying on these downstrokes, it helps. It doesn't feel comfortable sometimes. You want them to wait for the confirmation. Unfortunately, the confirmation came after the earnings. That's where the catalysts come into play. If you think that, the MACD has reset, I mean, again, I said it was just... The MACD is still super high on this freaking weekly, and it hasn't reset. But with a company that's doing that kind of thing, it's crazy. It just jumped. I mean, again, the stock jumped. It's up 13%. One that is down is Dutch Brothers at 23%. It was a slight miss on revenue guidance that caused it to go down 23%. Now, mind you, this company it's not financially a Starbucks. It's not financially an Eli Lilly. It is not financially in a great place. So that drop brings it back down here to where it was in May. So you popped all the way back up to 43. You get the chance to buy it when you're back in May. Now, is it a good buy? Well, I think you got to wait 3 days for it to shake out. But I think when you see the gap that is presented today, if you see it start to go into that gap, I think you can add to it. Now, this isn't for somebody who drinks decaf at home like me. This is for somebody who's going to Dutch Brothers. If you go there and you buy coffee every day and you see the line start forming, and again, it's just a miss, a slight miss on their guidance. Maybe the consumer is stronger. Maybe Dutch Brothers has a more better, more loyal base. Again, it's just for those people who go there. Now, Energy Transfer, we've been talking about this since the CEO bought, $20 billion worth at like 12 or 13. They killed it. They're up 3%. Energy Transfer's stock chart, again, the yield on this one is phenomenal. They pay out a dividend. Let's see what the forward dividend is. So we'll go to Energy Transfer so we can see. It's a strong buy in the quant. It's up 3.23%. The yield on this one, the forward yield, 8.19%. And look at that chart. Over 1 year, just the price appreciation, you're up 20%. Year to date, in an energy sector that's down, you're up 13%. I'm sorry, it's up. This one's up 13%. I think the energy sector is still up. I probably just exaggerated that one. But this is a great, great stock with a great, great yield. At 1650 is the 52-week high. Let's go and look at the Wall Street analysts. Wall Street analysts, there's 17 that actually cover it. That's a decent amount. 10 say a strong buy. Their average price target, 1537. Now you're trading right now, or I'm sorry, 1937. You're trading at 1592. At 1592. It's again, you have to make sure you have some energy exposure. I have Occidental Petroleum, I have Exxon, I have several others that I have in my portfolio. I do have it. Warner Brothers Discovery fell 9%. Just get Netflix. If you're in Paramount, if you're in Warner Brothers, just get Netflix. Netflix is the winner. Disney will be a winner. They announced that, again, once this one shakes out and the park entrance, the park stuff's going to come back. This is a great American company. They are going to come back. They're going to pay $5 billion more for Hulu. It has to shake out. But this one will come back. You can't tell me that people are going to stay away from Disney parks. That's not going to happen. Now, Bumble, on the other hand, this stock, 35% slashing 2024 revenue. This is getting killed. This isn't making money. Get out of it. Again, this one's not great. Not great whatsoever. So let's see. Social request. Trey asks, what is your outlook on NVIDIA? Is it a good time to buy? And do you think it is good or a bad idea to have over 50% of my portfolio in big tech? Also, love your podcast listening. Thanks, Trey. Here's the thing. NVIDIA, I think, is a steal. I think it's a buy under 100. Do I think it could get down to 80? Yes. Do I think anything about the Blackwell delay is going to hurt it? Yes. But do I think 2 years from now that you're hurting an NVIDIA? I don't think so. The valuation makes sense. Again, they have the Blackwell and everything in NVIDIA. They have a backlog of orders. Now, it doesn't mean that somebody from Google doesn't come out and say, you can see this guy yesterday. Stock price likely peaked even if Fed rates come. What you have to worry about chips is that Google, Amazon, and others have ordered enough and that they can't monetize AI and that they stop ordering NVIDIA chips. That's what you have to worry about. Now, NVIDIA has gotten to this where they actually are starting to charge for software. So it's a reoccurring revenue model. So it's not just, hey, you're going to buy our chips. You're going to buy our software because you bought our chips. And we're going to lock you in and we're going to have a reoccurring revenue model. That's what you get with NVIDIA. I think that what's happened here is it ran up. People don't believe the hype. People are seeing that Google and Amazon and Microsoft, they're all getting dinged because of their capital spend. Well, what's a CTO going to do when the stock, CEO is going to say, you know what? And they, mind you, they say this. Our stock price just got hit on earnings. We had a good quarter, but it's because of our capital spend. Let's spend less next quarter. Let's put off those chips. Google, we've got enough. We've got enough memory power to actually include Gemini into our mix. We've got plenty. Let's do that. If that's the case, NVIDIA will go down. So you're betting on that. What do I think of 50% of your portfolio in big tech? I have it, but don't follow a douche on the internet. I have a ton in technology. It depends on your outlook. It depends on your risk tolerance. It depends on which tech companies that you have. I mean, again, I'm not going to comment on your own personal portfolio because I don't know any of that for you. For me, I feel very comfortable. I sleep at night. That's fine. I may lose 30, 40% in a downturn. I've always come back. It's always been about rebalancing into what will happen. So that's it. That's it. My reaction to anybody saying that I don't know GLP-1 drugs, one manufacturer from the other, if you bought Lilly, I made you money. Doesn't matter what I said. This is the picture that I'll show you. That's it. That's it. I mean, that's the entire picture. And again, the core portfolio, if you want to follow the core portfolio, this isn't anything strategic. I wouldn't manage a portfolio this way, but it's 100 shares of each stock that's in the core portfolio. There's 35 positions. Look at the performance over QQQ. Okay? Year to date, the core portfolio is up 22%. NASDAQ's up 6.17. Oh, you may say, well, SPY is up more. Yeah, the S&P is up more than the Qs because the Qs have had this huge pullback. Well, let's go look at SPY. If I can pull this down here on this computer. Let's go look at SPY. SPY here. Wah, wah, wah. You can look at SPY. SPY's year-to-date performance. It's up 9% versus 22% on the core portfolio. And the core portfolio you can follow for free. So it is what it is. Again, Trey, I don't know your risk tolerance. I don't know that. If you feel comfortable with it, have at it. I always, I get dinged by financial analysts because I don't do bonds. I get dinged by financial analysts because I had Bitcoin. I get dinged by financial analysts because I'm too heavy in Apple. Hey, I quit working at 48 years old. And it wasn't because I had a huge salary. I just was, good at making sure that I let my winners run. That's it. And I position sized so that the winners would run and outperform. That's just it. So let's talk about scans. The first thing that I do on YouTube Live is go over scans. And I use the 4-hour algorithm to find entries into the stocks. Now, Netflix, great. 620. It's at 622. Do you want to buy it? I think it's a $700 stock. I think you'll get back up to 700. They got the NFL. The MACD reset. Has the MACD on the weekly reset? It's still a little bit stretched. Just buy it. In my mind, you just buy it. That's one of those that you just buy. Palantir, after their earnings, they were up, I think, 10% or something. It's huge. It's just been enormous. Again, you've got a $25 floor. So if you've got that $25 support level and you buy at 27, I think you go to 30. It's up 3%. The buy is at 27.47. I think you're fine. Again, this is the core portfolio. I think Palantir has proven, even though the valuation is crazy, I think they've proven that they can pop to 30. And I think with that particular stock, you've proven it. Now, Simon Property Group. This is in the core portfolio. I don't talk about it much. It was up huge yesterday. It was up enormous yesterday. It had a nice big candle yesterday. 155 is the buy-in. Am I buying here? That's a little bit strong for Simon Property Group in my mind. Again, if the consumer's weak, Simon Property Group probably will get hit a little bit. I just don't like it. GLB, one that is a alpha pick, and I like Royal Caribbean. RCL. Royal Caribbean is one that, somebody hasn't told the consumer of Royal Caribbean that the consumer is weak. 149. 149 is the buy. Now, has it gone on a huge run? Yes. Yeah, I would say that 135 is providing you support. That's what I would say. And that's the previous high back here in January 2020, right before the pandemic. They have a ton more debt. So it's a different company than before that. Trading Desk, they report after the bell today. Trading Desk, I love. They insert advertising into streaming video. I love this company. Now, the valuation, crazy. Family friend used to be the CFO of this company. It's under its 200-day. You have confirmation over that, 84.92. The 50-day is moving negative. That's the one thing I would be worried about, is when the 50-day starts moving negative, it hasn't been good for this stock. But, here at 84, I'd say when you get to rate cuts and you get to things like, it's going to move back up. The valuation's a little bit nuts, but you got to believe in the stock. And now on a weekly basis, this one hasn't reset totally. It's a little bit closer. RSI and no man's land at 47. You got some leveraged ETFs. One of them's on the downside of AMD. I don't think you short any of these chip names. I think it's a good thing if you want to play it a little bit, but I don't think it's an investment. I think it's a trade. Now, AMDS has run. This is short. AMDS, here at 11, the algorithm got you in. If you want any of this algorithm stuff, go to my link tree, linktr.ee. The top pick is Trendspider. You basically sign up. It's under, it's $53 a month for that. $53 a month. You get my algorithm, which takes emotions out of the trade. And you can take a look. Is it bullish? Is it bearish? What do you want? Qualcomm, great example. Qualcomm, big pullback. Did you want to buy it? You haven't seen it above the 9-day. I haven't seen it above the 9-day. You didn't want to buy it. The algorithm doesn't have you in. But the MACD is reset. The RSI is way oversold. So at some point, it makes sense to buy that dip. When? Maybe when the algorithm gets you in. That's what I'm waiting for with NVIDIA. It's back down under 100. This was over 100 when the market opened. So here you go. This has been great. I mean, again, you want to buy when the algorithm tells you, because that's a proven fact that it is a bullish signal. Does it always win? No, doesn't always win. It loses sometimes. But when you get Trendspider, you have the ability to do that stuff. So say I take a vacation. Now, the second tool that I sell is Seeking Alpha Premium. And that's the quant stuff. And that I like because I'm not great at fundamentals and I can read the stock and I can say, hey, it's too expensive or whatever. But yeah, again, it is what it is. And the third one is just Alpha Picks. That's it. I mean, I'm not doing anything else. I'm not monetizing a ton of stuff. The newsletter is free. Go and sign up for the newsletter. That's free. So if you don't want to spend it on the tools, just sign up for the newsletter. You can get all the scans at the end of the day. I put it in the newsletter every day. I put the newsletter is outlined where I put my thoughts on the macro market. I put the sales in. Then I put the links to the podcast. And then I do every note that I read on the air. I put in with some charts. And that's it. And then at the end, I put in all the scans. And that's it. So, that's the newsletter. It's free. You can just read it for 5 minutes a day. You don't have to listen to me go off for 35 minutes. So, do what you want. I will be back tomorrow. I'm hoping Trading Desk is a big one. I'm on Spaces at 3 o'clock. If you have any questions, hit me up. I'll talk to you later. See you. Bye. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Let me go back and read the comments now. Okay. Oh, man, there was a lot of comments. Let's see. Your 100% gains mean nothing. Okay, that's where I left off. Buying treasuries isn't betting on America. Gary, I've contracted you multiple times. Christian, I'd say if you don't need an education, I don't know why you're here. Why are you spending time listening? I mean, if you know exactly what's going on, I don't know why you're here. So, yeah, exactly. And Alexander says it perfectly. Start your own investing live stream. Christian, I'm up 100% on SMCI. Did I make mistakes? Yeah. Hey, if you're perfect, I mean, come on. Christian, I don't know why you're here. I mean, no one's going to make you money except yourself. And that's exactly it. That's the point. I'm not going to make anybody money, Christian. I'm going to make sure that when people buy stocks, they know what they're buying, but that's it. There are some stocks doing poorly in the portfolio, Patty. There's a couple of them that have been really, really bad. But I think overall the portfolio, what I want to do is take 20, 30 grand and just buy the percentage. They put the portfolio percentage in there. Christian, just leave. Yeah, Christian. I mean, Alexander puts it. I have 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube. There's 45 people in here. You are trolling me for entertainment for 45 people. And Christian, if you know everything, again, you haven't listened to me for 2 years and you come back. Why? I mean, it's obviously I say something that you like. Christian, I'm here. Yeah, Apple, Amazon. I mean, Motley Fool has. Why don't you go and troll Motley Fool? Because Motley Fool charges you what? $700 a year. And they hang their hat on Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and the other Mag 7. You are, Walter. I agree. Christian is just angry over losing money. Christian is angry because he's been in money markets and cash, and we've all been in growth stocks. That's what it is. Yeah, Christian, good luck with that. It's Brittany Bitch, Kristen. It's Brittany Bitch. I don't know. I don't know if I'm taking XLY out of the core. I probably should have done it earlier. But it's one of those. I mean, it's one of those that just has not. It hasn't been good. And it's basically, you know, I've said I own it because I like the Tesla exposure in it, rather than owning that. But with the consumer weakening, it's hard for me to think that this is a good one to hold, because look at it versus the S&P. The S&P is up 9% year to date. XLY is down 4%. That's a huge underperformer, and it's got a large part to do with Amazon and Tesla and Home Depot. I like that you guys are. Yeah, I think Alexander's right. Christian, why are you here? And if you're so successful, why are you here? Again, I don't spend my time. If I want to learn something, I go on YouTube. If I want to troll others, I don't go on YouTube. I just don't spend my time trolling. But that trolling psychologically means you have some type of personality deficit or flaw. So I would rather you work on that, Christian, than come on here and kind of insult people. I mean, that would be a better use of your time and a better person and a better human being. But, and Christian, I lost on SMCI. I'm not losing on SMCI because of position size. Again, I went in big at 200. It's at what? 483, 482 now. I'm up over 100%. I went in big at 200 to 250, and I went in smaller at 1,000 and 800. I mean, what do you want? I mean, I'm losing on SMCI on those buys that I did recently. Yes, position size matters. Buying on strength matters. So, that's your mom to stop texting me. Christian's mom, let's be honest. Christian's mom is, embarrassed. So she's only texting Nick because she's embarrassed of Christian. And I don't say dick on the internet, douche. It's a douche. I'm here to show others you're a fraud. That's why you're all crying about it. Christian, what's a fraud? Please, 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 please describe a fraud to me. I'm not sweating it. Put user in timeout. Christian was just timed out, so we can all I like double D's. Christian is in timeout for 30 minutes. That's the good part. Honest to God, I just don't know why someone would do that. But I don't know why someone is that insecure. FYI, I will lose you money. I say that. I will lose you money. I will make you money. I just give my opinions. Opinions on the market are never an expert or a guarantee. It's not a fraud. You know, you watch CNBC, you read the newspaper, you make a decision, you buy something, you could lose money. It's not a fraud. Yeah, I put him in timeout for 30 minutes because I figured that would stop him. And if he really quit working, he hasn't been here in forever. I mean, Christian used to tell me that I was doing wrong by holding on to Apple because Apple would never make money. I mean, let's just look at that. Christian would come in here and bitch and complain that the Mag 7 were never ones to do. For long-time listeners, Christian is Tom. Christian is Tom. I mean, Tom and Christian are one and the same. And if Christian thinks that I'm a fraud, stop. Just stop listening. And if you want to warn other people, do what Alexander does. Go on and start your own YouTube channel. Start this stuff. Call me out. You know what? Call me out like Kelly OG. Let's go to YouTube because I think Christian may actually be Kelly OG. Let's see. Home. Why is it that doing that? Kelly OG. For all of you that want to know, that's Christian right there. This is Christian. How to make money when the market falls. How to find perfect price targets. This is Christian. This is why Christian is so angry. Haven't bought into that stock at all. So it's come back down from the day. If you look at the 5-minute, it's doing what all the stocks have been doing, and it's pissing me off. Is during the day it's coming back down. I would wait if you haven't started a position ADA. I would probably wait a couple of days on this one. Yeah. If I would wait, the gap here worries me. Because while the beat was great and the projection on the GLP-1 stuff that they have is phenomenal, I don't know that the competition doesn't start to erode that huge gain. And so while I love the 836 price target against the all-time high, which is 966, and it will get back there, what I don't like is this MACD so high on the weekly. And if we're trading sideways from here to see here, Alexander, thanks for defending me. And Christian's gone, so we don't have to worry about it. But if we're going to trade sideways here, this may very well be like the last year where you kind of got to 629 and then you traded sideways down to about 567 and then you got the next move higher. And so I wouldn't rush into this today. But I think maybe in a couple of days, if you see this continue to come down, because as this starts to, this is the high. So as this trades lower, this MACD should start to come down, even if it trades sideways. As long as it trades lower, trades sideways, that MACD should start to decline. The RSI, it's telling you that, hey, it's 56, 70 is overbought. So from a technical standpoint, it's just a little hard because it is expensive. And if you haven't started a position, I think your time frame matters. If you're looking out, 3 years, I think you're fine. If you're looking out over a year, I think it's fine. But, again, that valuation is a little bit scary at 106 PE. The peg with the growth is low. So again, they have to continue growing. The growth is an A+. Look, 29% revenue year over year. Their EBITDA growth is 36. Free cash flow, 29%. That's the forward free cash flow. So it's really, really good. 31% operating cash flow. I mean, the everything that's forward looks good. What you have to worry about is if that changes and if, they're expanding internationally. I mean, everything that the CEO said was good. Yeah, WVF, that's what I was doing yesterday is I was rebalancing a lot. And so like Ulta, I have small positions in Ulta. I have small positions in DocuSign. I have small positions in some of the others. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me just get out. It's weak. I know I'm selling into weakness. They're small positions, but I'll take that cash and I'll move it somewhere else. Maybe Meta under 500. Maybe Goldman Sachs at 481, which is, banks with the reduction in interest rates kind of stuff. Bank of America at 38 under 40. I really like that one. I think that one gets back to 40. So, Okay, I'm out of here. It is 10 o'clock. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Let's hope Christian shows up again because I know he's listening. I know that little insecure personality of yours, Christian, is getting the best of you. You're listening while you're not chatting. Okay, take care. See you, bye.